Hey guys, this is Mr. Winters. In this video, I'm going to teach you how to make one of these mountain shelves. I'll take you through it step by step. First thing we need to do is get the right size wood that we're going to use to build this project. 3/4 inch wood by 1.5 inches. So we've got 3/4 by 1.5. This project, we're going to be doing miter cuts. So we're going to be using the miter saw and setting into a 30-degree angle to cut every angle that we cut for this project. So we will have the miter saw set to 30 degrees. And the first thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to cut a 30-degree angle right off the edge of this board. All right, so right here on the miter gauge, I'm at 0. I'm going to loosen this handle and squeeze this trigger. And I'm going to turn that number to 30 degrees. Now I'm just going to cut off the edge of this. Instead of laying this board down flat like this, we're going to turn it up on its edge like this and go tight to the fence like that. There's my 30-degree angle. For this project, for the measurement part of measuring out these boards, you're going to need a tape measure. You're going to need one of these little 30-degree jigs that I made. So you got a 30-degree angle and a 30-degree angle just to help you mark your projects. And make sure you have a nice sharp pencil. For this project, we need to cut 7 boards. So I have pieces that are a trapezoid, so they're gonna look like this. I have pieces that are a parallelogram, and they will look like that. So I've already got this 30-degree angle cut. So now, I'm gonna measure from the bottom of this, and I'm gonna measure 24 inches and make a mark. So I went from that angle, and there's my 24-inch mark. Now I'm gonna lay this board down flat like that, and take this jig and hold it right on that, right where that mark is. And I'm gonna trace that 30-degree angle. Here to here is 24 inches. And then I make that angle that way. I'm going to repeat what I just did, only this time I'm going to do 13 inches. Went from this piece, 13 inches over, I made my mark. I'm just bringing that and lining it up right on that dot. Tracing that angle. Go cut that at 30 degrees. So now I'm going to make one more board, and I'm going to make it another trapezoid board 13 inches. Now I'm going to cut that on the miter saw. So now we're going to put these 3 pieces, and we're going to start building the first part of this mountain shelf. To build this project, we're going to be using glue, and we're going to be using a brad nailer. So the first time, make sure I'm with you so I can teach you how to do it and do it safely. And then if you don't feel safe doing this, I can help you with this part. So my first piece, I'm going to take the 24-inch board and one of the 13-inch boards, and this goes together like that. So I'm going to glue right here, attach that piece, and then I'm going to put 2 nails to hold it together. Now the tricky part of this is knowing which way to put the nail gun, either this way or this way. If I put it this way and push in, you'll see that the tip doesn't touch the board. So this is the wrong way. I need to put it this way, so when I push in, the tip shoots the nail right into the board. There's my first board. Now this next board goes right here, like that. So I need to put glue right here and glue right here. I'm going to set that up and nail here and into here. before I move on, I'm gonna wipe all my glue on all those joints so I don't have to mess with sanding that later. So take the time, get a wet rag, and make sure you wipe the glue really well. There we go. So now I'm going to cut my next board, which is going to be this piece, and then we're going to attach that board. Fourth board is going to be another trapezoid. So I had to get another piece of wood. So I'm going to start again by getting a 30-degree angle right here. This time I'm going to measure from the bottom of my trapezoid. I'm going to go 17 inches. So this is from here to here, 17 inches. Now I'm going to add this board right here. So I need to put some glue right here. There's that. Now I'm going to wipe my glue. Now I'm going to add my fifth board, which is going to go from here to here. For my fifth board, this time we're not going to make a trapezoid. We're going to make a parallelogram. So this angle's going this way. My other angle's going to go this way also. So it's not coming in like this. It's going to angle like this. So I'm going to measure from the bottom of this trapezoid. And this time I'm doing 11 3/4 of an inch. Now it's still a 30-degree angle, so I'm going to cut that on the miter saw. Now that board I just cut is going to fit right there. Glue right here and right here. Now this time I gotta flip this over so that I can get to that other nail. Now I'm gonna wipe all my glue off. That was my fifth board, and now I have 2 of the mountains built. So the next step is to cut the middle peak. We're gonna cut 2 smaller boards for that. These last 2 boards are both parallelograms. So we'll have a 30-degree angle here. The other ones are going to go at that same angle. So they need to slant this way and this way. The first board is going to be 5 1/4 of an inch. So from here to there is 5 1/4 inch. My 7th board, this is the last one. This will be another parallelogram, and this time I want to go from here to here, 4 inches. So then my last 2 pieces make the last mountain peak. I'm going to start by gluing these 2 together like this. Wipe the glue. Okay, now this will fit right like that. So I need to put glue here and glue here. Now I'm going to wipe my glue. We have the first part of our project complete, and we have the mountains all built. So I'm going to let this dry, because we want all that glue to have plenty of time to dry. And while that's drying, I'm going to make the mountain peaks next. It's time to make the mountain peaks for the shelf. 3.5 inch wide here, plywood. I have these little templates that you can use. So what I did is I started by cutting on the miter saw a 30-degree angle. So now I'm just going to lay my template on here and trace my other 30-degree angle. And I'm going to cut out 3 of these triangles. Okay, now I've got my 3 triangles. Now the next part is to get these bottom pieces cut out. I've got 3 templates, 1, 2, and 3. I'm just gonna lay these down and trace these bottom parts. Okay, now I'm gonna take these to the bandsaw and cut those out. I'm going to use the bandsaw, and all I'm doing is making straight cuts. 1 cut, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now what I want to do is just take some time, and I'm going to just lightly sand these. I'm just going to use a palm sander with 220 grit and just going to clean these mountain peaks of all the fuzzies off of there. Make sure you take the time to do that, because the fuzzies don't look very good on your project. Okay, now I got all 3 pieces sanded. All right, next part of this project is to paint these mountaintops. So you need to take your time and make sure you're careful with this, because you don't want it to look sloppy. The first place you're going to paint are all of the edges. Once we do all the edges, then you do the face. When you paint the face, make sure all your brush strokes go in one direction so that it looks nice. I'm going to go ahead and paint these up. When you do this, make sure you got a paper towel down and have a wet rag to clean up the paint. Please don't get paint all over the tables. Clean up the stuff while it's still wet. Okay, I got all 3 peaks painted, so now I'm just going to leave these dry right on this paper towel. And then please make sure that you put the lid back on the paint. Wipe any paint that got off on the table. Then you need to go to the sink and rinse this brush out really well. This has had plenty of time for all the glue to dry while I made my mountain peaks. So now, while my mountain peaks dry and the paint dries, I'm going to start sanding this thing. So I'm going to go through the sanding process. I'm going to do 120 grit, and I'm going to wet this thing down, and then do 220, just the best that I can do on this thing. Here we go. So I made sure that all my pencil marks are gone, and I made sure all of the joints are nice and flush on all of these parts all the way around the project. Now the inside I can't get with the powered sander, so I'm just going to use my hand. Okay, I'm done with 120 grit. Now I'm going to wet this thing down, hit it with 220 grit. Okay, I'm going to let that dry, and I'll sand it with 220 grit. Okay, my project's had time to dry, so now I'm going to sand with 220 grit. There we go. Now you gotta decide if you're gonna leave your mountains the natural color or if you're gonna use the torch and do a torch on them. For this project, I'm gonna go ahead and torch these mountains. All right, there we go. Now the next step will be to put mineral oil on the mountains. We want to make sure we do the oil first before we put the mountain tops on. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and oil my project. Remember to do all the hard to reach corners first. All right, make sure you clean up your area when you're done. And this project has a lot of hard to reach places, so make sure you take the time and make sure you got every little spot. The last step is to glue the mountain peaks onto the project. You need to make sure that your mountain peaks are dry. If you have wet paint, you can't do this until it's dry or you're gonna get wet paint all over the rest of your project. I'm gonna take my mountain peak, I'm gonna lay it on here, and just look at where I need to put glue. So I see where I need it, I'm going to lift that up. Okay, now I'm just gonna give those about 5 minutes to dry. Okay, everything's done. Be safe, have fun in the shop. We'll see you in the next video.